All right, y'all, I'm about to get real personal and vulnerable, so bear with me, be kind. I mean, I already talk about this in my book, Meditation, How Stillness Saved Me, but I just want to put it on video and talk to you guys a little bit more about my situation. And maybe you relate, maybe you went through something similar. Basically, I'm making all this to say that there is light at the end of the tunnel and you can overcome. I'm living proof of that. This video is about the panic attack that changed everything. So it was maybe sometime in March or April 2015. To set the scene, my girlfriend was coming over and I decided to smoke a little joint of weed before she came over, relax, enjoy myself. She was gonna come over. We're probably gonna have sex. I was like, all right, cool. It's gonna be a good night. So I smoked the joint. She comes over. We're chilling, watching TV or whatever we do. And then, we start to get intimate. It comes time for me to penetrate. And right when I'm about to penetrate, my penis goes completely limp. It had never happened to me before, not once, not with her, not with anybody else. It all happened so fast. And at the moment, I was shocked, like, what the heck happened? Like, why did I go limp? And then the next thought immediately was, I'm gay? That thought caused my first panic attack. I had never had one before, not as a kid, not as a teenager, not once. I was 22 years old and I was having my first panic attack. I didn't know what was happening. I thought I was panicking because the thought of me being gay was true. That's what I was believing. So that sent me to a panic. Like I had just discovered something new about myself. Like, what? I'm gay? I didn't know that. What the hell? And then start panicking, mind starts racing. Needless to say, it got awkward, right? We couldn't keep going. So then we kind of just like lay there in bed in silence. And in that silence, I remember hearing a voice, and the voice told me, the fear of death is the root of all evil. I can only describe it as it was the voice of God or maybe my higher self. I can't really quite describe it, but I can't say that I generated that thought. The thought came to me. I heard it. Sounded like my voice, but I couldn't be too sure. But the thought came to me and it said, the fear of death is the root of all evil. Now I'm just looking back at it, everything that played out as it did. This had to happen for me to get that understanding that the fear of death is the root of all evil. That's what I've come to learn. So to make a short story long, she goes home for the night. I try to go back to sleep. It's already late. It's like 11, midnight, something. So I'm like sleepy, drowsy, coming down off the weed a little bit. So I kind of crash out for maybe an hour or two. And then I wake up in a complete panic. Like I don't know why or what, but this is when my waking up in a cold sweat, just waking up in panic in the middle of the night. That's when this started for me. Immediately, the first thing I thought of was the thought of being gay. And I thought that I was panicking because I was becoming gay or realizing that I was gay. And this, of course, was confusing. It was traumatic. I'm like, how can this be true? It's like discovering something about yourself that you didn't know before, like you didn't know yourself. And this was trapped deep within you. And now all of a sudden it's coming out and it's freaking you out because you don't believe in it. You never have believed in it. Yet you're confused as to why the thought keeps returning. Like, why does this thought of me potentially being gay keep returning? That's when I started to discover that these are intrusive thoughts. Could be related to, at the time it was known as HOCD, homosexual obsessive compulsive disorder, where you obsess over the thought of being gay or the fear of being gay. And that's what these thoughts were. They just kept returning. It was a form of OCD. So all that is just wrapped in confusion, fear, anxiety. My life was a complete mess for the following months after that, just living in pure confusion and fear. Make a short story longer, that's when I started doing research, and that's when I discovered meditation, and that completely changed my life, and it brought me back to peace, and it showed me who I really was. Of course, I wasn't gay. It was just that traumatic event that happened, and that was the only way I could rationalize it. That was me trying to find certainty in the moment, and that's what my brain went to, that The only reason my penis could have gone limp was because I was gay, not knowing that I was in the middle of a panic attack. And when you're in a panic attack, your body doesn't care about sex. It's fight or flight. The blood doesn't rush to your penis, it rushes to the other parts of your body because you're either going to fight for your life or you're going to run for your life. I didn't understand that. It took me weeks and months of research to finally understand what was really going on. But again, I made this video just to be vulnerable and to share my story with you guys. You might have experienced something similar, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. You can overcome this. You can overcome the intrusive thoughts. You can come out on top. It takes discipline. It takes patience. It takes being kind to yourself, sharing love to yourself, accepting God, accepting God's love, sharing it with yourself, sharing it with others. You can overcome. And the number one practice that did it for me was meditation. And me going through what I went through, I decided to become a coach and teach my framework and my practices to other people that are suffering from intrusive thoughts and anxiety, and not just about HOCD or fear of being gay, any intrusive thought. Any intrusive thoughts, they're all based in fear of not knowing yourself, and really ultimately the fear of death. So my framework, my program, I try to help people deal with that fear and face it head on so that they can live in the present moment where peace is, where God exists, where they are. So if you had something similar to this, if you're having intrusive thoughts, drop the comments below. I love to talk to you. I love to get a conversation going. God sent me here to help. I want to help you. Let's talk. I love you guys. Take care. Peace.